Good evening, everyone. This is Octane Online Racing, and welcome to the next round of the Porsche Cup and GT4 multi-class series here on ACC. Tonight, we're at Snetterton, another of the classic British airfields transformed into a racetrack. With long straights and tight hairpins, it promises to be a great race. Our drivers are ready to resume their battles, with it heating up at the top of the Porsche Cup standings. Lucas Keys and Patrick Johnson are leading the charge, but keep your eyes on the two teammates right behind. Damiano Thurcolini and Dylan McDowell, separated by just 2 points in the championship. I know that was a contentious talking point in the chat just recently. Over in the GT4 class, though, the question is, can Stefano Rasciuti carry over his blistering form from last week, or can Zach Jensen and Ben Vincenar rise to the challenge and shake things up? The battles will rage on track tonight, but who will win the war? And tonight, on popular demand, returning in the commentary booth, is my main man, Dan Madden. Dan, how are you tonight, mate? And what are you looking forward to?
Mate, I am doing awesome. Just coming out of the bush at the moment, but
we'll get the instruments out and bring you out. Yes,
mate, I'm looking forward to the battle at the top of the Porsche Cup cars. So we got JC coming back into the mix this week, and mate, it's just going to be gloves off, throwing the car down the inside, trying to get past these GT4s. It's just going to be absolute traffic everywhere, just the way we want multi-class racing, Dave.
Just exactly what you're saying there, throwing the cars down the inside. I think that's what this track is looking to provide, just such long straights. If you get a poor exit, I think some generous and easy passing opportunities might arise, but those scary little hairpins at turn 2 and turn 4 really kind of make you on your toes whether or not to how late you want to hit those brakes if you're up the inside of someone. So I'm actually looking forward to it. I've never raced here, so I'm looking to see what I can learn. Maybe the next time I race here we can apply some of those skills with what we are doing, leading up into the next series. But mate, no, again, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Looking forward to an awesome race.
Hoping just to live up to the hole that Matt Madden's left for this week. See if I become the superior or the inferior brother. But mate, you took my trivia question off me for the start of already saying that it's an airfield. I was going to say, is it A, an airfield, B, a pool table, or C, a shuffleboard? Because there's no camber. It is just a flat track that we're going to be going around for the next 45 minutes.
Mate, the British ingenuity is just at an all-time high, we've just got some tarmac. What are we going to do? We're going to race on it, Let's just join a few corners together on an airfield and we call it a racetrack. But, I think, what do we got? We got Donington Park, we've got Silverstone, we've got here. So, they've got too many. I know they're nice and close to France, and the old wars put a lot of airstrips in, but, mate, could they actually build a proper racetrack somewhere? I think it might help them.
Get that Cessna off the taxiway. I'm putting a GT4 on
it. Mate, talking about planes, mate. Stefano Rasciuti already just laying the law down, half a second up on Ralphie. So, mate, I think after he might have had the stream on and heard my introduction and tried to rev him up a little bit to make sure none of these guys can follow in his footsteps. But, mate, he's absolutely been on fire in the last weeks. But I know Benny V and Zach talking to them through the week, and I know Lupke as well. Kind of want to make sure that he doesn't have it all his way, because he's got a bit of a lead in the championship so far.
Benny Vintia just showing off the Audi there on the black stuff, coming down to where is that? Coming down to T1.
Yep. T1, yep.
T1, Richie's, and mate, this is where a lot of ice going.
I've never seen a more awkward last turn. I'm not sure if you've done any laps here, mate, but I looked at a bit of an onboard, and they're coming just through flat out through a right-hander into the most awkward left-hand last corner with a massive curve. So hopefully Benny can maybe get us an onboard with a car coming around the last sector soon. He'll be able to show us what we're all talking about. But yeah, we got, here we go, Zach Jensen coming up. Like, literally, it's like a massive, long right-hand turn. Keep turning right, keep turning right, keep turning, brake in a not even in a straight line, just a massive sausage curve on the last turn. So, mate, I know in a GT4 it probably comes up a little bit slow, but I can just can't wait to see a Porsche Cup car just not hit the exit and just fly into the wall on the outside.
Mate, we're going to see some quality lawn mowing from those front splitters tonight, I think.
But we got Blake already doing a great job up there in P4, and hopefully she can close that gap, because there's still a second between first and fourth. Just Stefano just absolutely laying the law down so early in this qualifying session, only 30 seconds to go, so that's looking like it's already sewn up.
Yeah. Game, set, match. Mate, the only thing worked harder than the tyres here at Snetterton are the blades on the lawnmowers, is what I've heard.
Well, the grass is looking very manicured here tonight, so I'm not sure they need to do too much more. But let's just see this last. We've got 6/10 up for Benny V coming across the line. P2, huge lap.
He's got time to go around again.
Yeah, he actually does. Yeah, finishing off that second last lap. Jaden Rondolano, Loopty coming through. Another 4/10 up.
He's moving up in the top 5.
Fantastic finish to the laps. You know, I'm not sure how much practice these guys are.
Oh, don't stop on the race line! Oh God! Oh no! Oh no! The stewards might give him the stick for that one.
Yeah, we were asked at the end of our academy race, please don't park on the exit of the corner, as Zach Jensen just goes a bit too wide and lost half a second. No, but I think has he even put a valid lap down? Oh, maybe not. You know, maybe I think.
Yes. Jensen's put a lap down.
It's very slow though. 2.5 seconds off the pace.
Just a nice little sight there. Here we go. You can see how much time he's making up in every corner.
It looks, maybe Zach Jensen's going to be doing a last to first challenge tonight.
Little 500 fruit bowl challenge with Lucas Keys.
But while we have the Porsche Cup cars coming to start their first opening laps, big shout out to YouTube chat. Already rolling with Sam and Dave and Jan. Shout out to everyone. If you're not in here already, you know, make sure you get on your socials, share the link with everyone, and yeah, get some more people in chat, and let's have an awesome night tonight. But it's actually nice to see Bechtold back here. He wasn't there last week, and he's absolutely been flying a couple of weeks ago, so good to have him back on board in the Porsche Cups as well.
Just waiting for some times to come through here. Mate, I've been really impressed with Johnston all series so far. He's really secured second place. He's let Lucas Keys go a bit in terms of the standings, not in terms of on track. And he's put down a really solid performance the whole time. I think he's going to be someone to watch out for in sprints over the next season or two as well.
Paddy's been absolutely lightning, even in his split. I think he might be split red as well. So doing an absolute awesome job in what he does up there in his splits. But mate, you're exactly right. I think we saw one of the most dramatic moments we've had in a long time in the multi-class series, if not GT4s, as last week we saw Mr. Lucas Keys come right up behind him and actually half spin out. So I know Patrick's been absolutely lightning, and his biggest weakness that he's probably had is keeping his tyres under him. I think he's quite hard on the tyre and just seems to drop off a little bit late, even with the battle of the Ds last week. Damiano and Dylan actually catching up to him in the late stages last week as well.
Mate, I think he's hoping something like that might happen again this week. Hopefully Lucas Keys tries to find his way past a bit of lap traffic, tyres hit the grass, go for a spin, and he might be able to just drive away with it.
It's with such a long lap, I really don't see lap traffic being too much of an issue this week. I think with the small tracks like we had at Brands Hatch and lots of cars, we had lots of incidents or opportunities where Porsche Cup cars got caught up with the GT4s, but with such a long lap and I think it's only 7 or 8 Porsche Cups and 9 GT4s this week, I really don't see it being too much of an issue. So I think this is just a flat out pace race tonight, with the person that makes the least amount of mistakes that's going to do a really good job.
I've got a question for you. Around the back there on that long right hander, I hope the GT4s, it's got to be awkward for the overtake. you got to be on the racing line on the inside, then you got to want to go to the outside, and then you're coming into that awkward left-hander where the GT4 is going to be left on the inside, trying to let the Porsche Cup car through.
I can't wait to see a Porsche Cup car just come through there completely sideways, because I feel like late in the race we're going to see some very tired and better looking, worse for wear looking rear tyres. We just see JC just slide across the track, just trying to maximise his lap. And I think these guys might not have done too many laps around here. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing plenty of sideways action with that left rear getting an absolute hammering through that last sector.
I know there were some people who didn't quite expect the track to be so hot last week and had a bit of the red balloons underneath them. So hopefully they've adjusted the tyre pressures this week to keep those tyres a little bit colder, close the brake ducts a bit, and hopefully they can go the full 45 minutes without having to nurse the car around the last 10 minutes.
We don't quite know the track temperature, but shout out to the Kunos servers just giving us a completely fake British weather again. It's looking like 35 degrees outside racing, where we're racing tonight. I've never seen England look so well. But Miller, I love that livery, mate. Jackie boy, that's shout out to you coming back this week again. You were deeply missed last week and put it into P2 already. Looking to have Miller and Bechtold back up in that front battle again.
Who's your one to watch on that sort of second row? I'm looking at like Battle of the D's again. McDowell, Thurcolini. I think they're going again. 45 minutes, door to door.
I know they were having a bit of some knives were thrown in the Discord chat before, and they said, you know what, teammates no more tonight, and being only 2 points from each other. I know they're going to be on high alert to make sure that if someone's got in front, they're going to go chase them down. But I know, there's a few more cars in that midfield battle this week that all seem to be quite similar in pace. That Bechtold, Miller, Johnson, McDowell battle. Coming off, when did they race last time when they were so close together? I think that battle's looking to resume, and I think if McDowell or Thurcolini can get one of those cars in between them, that really will either expand the championship fight or open up the battle a little bit more, open up the points gap a little bit more. But that's exactly what they're probably seeing. I think it's going to be a Lucas Keys, Patrick Johnson battle at the front, and we're interested to see who kind of can take that fight up to them, or that next little battle pack.
Lee Johnson, with a minute left on the clock, coming down, he's putting an awesome lap. He's half a second up. It's got to put him 0.3 clear of Thurcolini, and stay off the curves. That Porsche doesn't want to whack that.
The standard Porsche Pongo, the standard Porsche Pogo. We love that.
To jump up into pole position.
Hey, these guys just getting faster and faster every single lap, and I think we've seen some times in the race that's actually faster than qualifying. So Dylan McDowell, P1, great lap, 149.4, over a tenth and a half up. But we've got Patrick Johnson, almost 5 tenths up. Does that get him to P1? It does, by 600ths of a second. Thurcolini behind him. Does that jump him up? No, Miller with half a second up. This should be P2 or 3 as well. Oh, P5 just a little bit in the end.
Oh no, he's not going to be happy.
He's still got one lap to go. He just crossed the line just in time. So, I know these guys are just learning the track every time they keep going around. So these times will keep flowing down as they keep getting faster and faster. Bechtold needs to find 3 tenths in the last sector. Going to be a tough one.
Question is, Jason Convoy down there in 8th, is he doing a first to last, or is that I struggle my way around the track and I'm just going to not even worry about it?
I definitely think Jason Convoy is going to be different to Jamie Convoy.
Jamie Convoy, sorry, mate.
3.5 seconds off, and maybe use his cousin Jason. So, yeah, we are. But
I'll let you know
no,
that
I
later.
think Mr. JC will just sort himself out. We'll just leave him there, and sooner or later he might put a valid lap in, and then we'll go from there. But I know JC's just having so much fun in the Porsche Cup. I know he had a great night last night, finishing on the podium. And if anyone else was out there in split yellow land, Mr. JC finally put a clean pit stop together and actually gained a position. So wild night last night. All the universes aligned. He got no penalties on the way in. Hit all his marks straight up on the jacks, and did a clean pit stop. And that is one for the ages.
I don't know how many times I've asked JC, like, oh mate, can you give me a brake marker for coming into the pits? And he goes, I'm not qualified to give you that, mate. But got the YouTube chat coming in, writing with Tim's big claim saying JC's sandbagging back there in 8th spot. As we come to have a look at the awesome liveries.
Mate, Thurkalini with a pole position. Everyone put your hands together. That is a huge lap. So we've got Thurkalini on pole. Well done, mate. That is that's exactly what you need for your championship. So we've got Thurkalini, Patrick Johnson, Dylan McDowell in the orange and black liveried Porsche there. Mate, look out for their thermal overtake highlight later. It is going to come soaring in from nowhere. Bechtold in P4, Miller in P5 with my standard classic, my favourite livery, blue and purple. Will always forever be in my heart, that one, Mr. Miller. P6, I need some help if anyone's out there in P6. Is that Mr. Yao? I'm not too sure. Someone needs to help me out in YouTube world.
Yep. Academy Super driver? It is.
There it is, Mr. Yao. Yeah, Lucas Keys. Yeah. Mr. Keys got beat for a last to first challenge. How could he? JC. You guys couldn't do a worse job in qualifying. But back down to our GT4s. Stefano Rasciuti on pole. Well done. I think that was actually probably the biggest gap at the field, maybe. I think he put a blinder in. Benny Vincent in P2. So those guys are going to resume their GT4 battle.
And Zach Baker.
Yeah, Zach Baker. His best qualifying sessions in the entire GT4 series so far. Relpi in P4. Probably going to be pretty happy with that. Loopty with a new livery. I know he was running the Fruit Bowl livery before, so he must have got dropped from doing a poor performance. So Loopty, well done. We got Blake Griffiths in P6 in that bright green. We're going to say fluoro green or fluoro yellow.
Yeah, you don't miss it.
In the Brat car. Busk, second race in the GT4s. Klomp, Zach Jensen with an absolute horrendous qualifying session. That's going to really hurt him in his championship series. And rounding out is Rick Lean. I know Rick had a pretty good race on Tuesday night in the Academy series in his little red and yellow Ferrari that he loves running.
Hey, be careful what you say about Ferraris.
Yeah, no, those can go in the rubbish bin if I'm talking to you, Danzo. I know the Ferrari main that you like running, but forever, I will. No. Look, I raced a Ferrari 2 seasons ago, so I can't talk.
As we're getting ready to do the formation lap in 3 seconds, Decalini will let us off, warm those tyres up, do a bit of weaving. It doesn't help anything, but it definitely looks cool on stream, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
It definitely looks cool. Weaving's just so pro. Mate, I'm looking forward to the race start, mate. But turn 1's not offering too much, but it's turn 2 where I really think the battles are going to ignite, mate.
I just hope the drivers keep a level head, bit of patience, and don't go 3 wide. There's not that much room. It's not Spa, it's not Barcelona, it's not the Hungaroring. This is Snetterton. It's almost go single file.
With how much these drivers were pushing the qualifying, anyone out there in YouTube land, if you can get some updates on some track cuts, that's what I really want to see tonight. I know a lot of the drivers are pushing those exits and pushing those entries to see if they can maximise their time. But if you can keep us up to date with some track cuts, if anyone's looking close to getting a DT, make sure you shout it out on YouTube chat.
Got Gorilla Snapper saying that I think JC got 3 track cuts last night, so he almost bottled the podium.
Yeah, I was actually watching that live, and he was actually surprised for his third one. He looked down and he goes, "Where did I get the second one?" So that come as a surprise. So I'm glad he kept his level head with only a couple minutes to go. But it was an absolute awesome battle that he had. I think it was John Vettiger actually in the Coke Ford last night. And if anyone can shout me out who won Split Green last night as well, it's the one thing that I missed. I usually try to watch both splits last night, but Mr. Tired Self over here actually fell asleep, so I didn't get a chance to watch the second split, so I want to shout them out quickly too. But as we've gone double file, boys and girls, everyone in Octane Online Racing, let's get going.
Come around the long right. Just ready into that quick awkward left. Don't pump the car on the inside. Don't hit the sausage. As we see Johnson just lifting the inside of that Porsche car. All right, lads, hold your speed. Get ready for the lights to go out. Also, go green as we have in Porsche Cup in GT racing. Coming down, Thirkalini's got to have the inside.
Green light, go, go, go.
Got green, green, green. As we see a bit of moving around the back there, McDowell coming down the middle, trying to send it to Johnston around the outside. He's trying. He's got the overlap. He's got to send it down the inside. Beautiful. Great start there from Johnston. Thirkalini's going to have to watch the back of that beautiful fruit bowl car as all the cars coming beautifully through. Nice and clean. Awesome race start. A little waggle out of the GT4 cars. Wow. Bit of a change up from the starting grid. We see Johnston in P1.
I think both sets of races, P2's actually jumped the leader. So incredible that the inside starting position, we've actually had P2 jumping both. So we've got Johnson overtaking Thirkalini. We've also got Benny V overtaking Raschuti. So I'm not sure how starting P1 might have been the interesting or the better thing to do there. But
yeah,
I want to see. I thought P1 was on the inside, but I actually looking at the GT4 start, I might have saw Raschuti actually starting on the outside. So I want to go back and have a look at that start. I think we might have seen Raschuti actually choose the outside line there for his race start, which is a little bit odd. But we see Patrick Johnson just instantly stretching his lead, just getting more and more familiar with this circuit, with Thirkalini and McDowell just, again, instantly in battle mode.
We see a bit of a train in the next couple of cars, second, third, fourth.
Yeah, we've got
that battle come out.
Mate, Thirkalini, McDowell, Miller, Keys, all only a couple of tenths apart. So, we've got Thirkalini had some huge mistake coming off the last turn, and that's what we're talking, bouncing off that curb. And we've got three cars going through only on this main straight, as they've all just sent it insanely wide. Lucas Keys into the wall. What have we seen?
What's happened? He hasn't turned.
They've all just completely missed turn one and decided we're going to go off-roading. Lucas Keys, what has happened there? Just complete brain fade. And McDowell, Miller and Thirkalini just go, thank you very much. And their places are back, as we've seen. Raschuti now losing a spot to Rondinella as well. I think there's just been a huge shake-up in our field as we've just waiting for ACC timing to sort itself out.
I don't want to talk too early, but has Lucas Keys just called it and quit? I don't see him on the board.
Yep, I think he's just done exactly what you just said. He's going, well, I've made one mistake and off I've gone. We've also seen, Raschuti drop greatly down the order. We've got Vintner, Raupi, Baker, Rondinella all in front of him as well now. Let's have a look on board. Lucas Keys. We've just... What has happened? Just followed Jack Miller into his braking marker and just completely clobbered the outside barrier. And Raschuti doing exactly the same thing. There must have been, has to have been oil on the track, surely.
Oh, and then he couldn't redress. That's the problem. He couldn't redress and he sent it off again into the wall. Oh no, that's terrible.
That is a huge blunder. Let's have a look on board Thurcolini again. Who's going to make turn one? This is just absolutely insane. Don't miss your brake markers.
Bucker up a bit.
Here we go. Into turn one, turn in. Mistakes have been learned, yeah. Fool me once, shame on me. Correct.
Wow. Hey, Johnston, that's going to be huge for him in the standings. Sorry, is this the race start?
The race start. So they're shooting just starting on the outside, which is just really strange. Ropey around the outside of Rondinella. That's a great pass, and Zach Baker just holding on there. So that's some great racing. They just catch up so quickly to the back end of the Porsche Cup cars. Maybe we're going to get a bit of a bigger gap there next time. As Ropey, Rondinella keep going. Yet Rondinella getting past Baker then. Yes, that was a great pass. We'll have to see if we can get a highlight of that as well. It must have been, through turn two, just got some great drive out. Rondinella off and racing, going to chase down Raupi for P2 in the GT4 class.
Benny Pint here just saying, thank you very much. I'm going to pull 2 seconds clear and I'm just going to coast around for the next 20 minutes to save my tyres. No need.
I cannot believe the insane turn one on lap 2 we've had. They must not have done many corners behind other cars and just did not know or could not see their brake markers and just sent it so deep, trusting the driver in front. And as you saw, Jack Miller made the first mistake, but it's always as a second car, you're just going to follow him through. As we've got Bechtold, Yao and Comboy in a tight battle coming onto the main straight.
Just a bit of patience here, I think. Just wait for a car to hit the grass. It won't take long. It's only going to take a lap or two, and then you'll get the drive on them. No need to do something silly here.
Hey, with this track being as thin as a toothpick, mistakes are going to be coming along rapidly. So I think you're exactly right. A little bit of patience here will go a long way in making your passing opportunities a little bit easier. But as we see Stefano Raschuti, probably the fastest man in the GT4s at the moment, stuck in P6. So, or maybe P5. I think it might have been P5. But this is exactly what we're saying. Without having to do laps of practice, you put yourself in a little bit of a disadvantage. As we see great drive off turn one, but now they're all a little bit scared on how deep we can brake. So we need to sideways for Raschuti off turn two.
As we got the highlight of Lucas Keys coming down towards that turn here where he sent it off down the inside, I think.
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah. Oh, I don't know if you saw that out of race control. Raschuti getting a penalty for being out of position on race start.
That's what I was thinking, right? I know I pointed that out on the replay that we saw before. I was like, I didn't know whether or not that was going to be a choice or not. But does that mean Benny V also gets a penalty? I'm not too sure, or what we do there, because obviously he was taking up then pole position as well, or is he's just then taking up the front row lockout. So I'm not too sure what's going on there.
You've got to stay to your side of the track, as we see Raschuti getting that overtake done on Baker as he's trying to hold the inside. Don't hit him, trying to cross back under. That was great racing, as we see all the GT4 cars. Bit of a procession, and I wouldn't want it any other way. GT4's cars nice and close at Snetterton.
Lucas, big shout out to Lucas in the YouTube chat, mate. If you're not racing, we're not going to show you replay again. We might show it at the end of the race. But that was not sure what happened there, mate. Big brain fade. We'll just jot that one down to a love experience.
So
Mate.
I'll be worried being a sprint driver now. Lucas Keys is going to just be warming up those tyres in the sprint.
William, yeah, just throwing it down the inside, trying to get the spot back, but just couldn't hold onto the brake pedal any longer. Zach Jensen making his way through the field from the back of GT4s. He's just a class driver every single week. As we always said, I think the last couple of weeks we've been mentioning that if he did a better qualifying performance, he'll actually race a lot better with his racecraft and his race speed. So again, the qualifying seemed to have let him down. But if there's one angle that we need to see of the Lucas Keys incident, surely we can find the angle from the outside barrier. just with this Lucas Keys coming straight for us. I think that might be an angle to see.
I think Lucas Keys might be finding a bill from the airport needing repairs to that barrier. I wouldn't be worried about the Porsche Cup car yet.
A few of those barriers are going to be quite dismembered for a little while. So
we've got Gorilla Snappers saying that Lucas Keys thermal overbaked it into the corner.
That is classic. Yeah, that is really good.
Yeah, thermal overbake of the week.
Yeah. Zach Baker doing a really good job in P5 of GT4. Yeah, here we go. Let's see how close we get. That's the one. We saw all of his 500 fruit bowls. Now we've got 500 fruit bowls of fruit juice in the barriers, tightly squeezed. But getting back to the front end of our Porsche Cup race, we've got Patrick Johnson 6-second lead over Dylan McDowell. So Thurkalidi and McDowell, I think, getting past Bechtold in the meantime of our 5-lap race so far. So that's been some awesome racing through there. And yep, the battle of the D's, Dylan McDowell and Damiano Thurkalidi back at it again. Zach Jensen down the inside of Baker. So his march forward continues, and whether or not he'll catch back up to Jaden Longinella and Stefano Rasciuti. So keep an eye on that battle with 34 minutes to go as well.
Just see the all the Porsche Cup cars, just that gap's getting a little bit big between each one of them. We've got 1 to 2 seconds. Looks like a lot of the racing's got to be done on these GT4 cars tonight. That's where I want to see the mid-pack. I want to see some real bravery, real commitment down into T2. See if we can not pull a Lucas Keys and just not dive bomb, but get in the mirrors, scare the driver on the, make them give you a bit of room.
It's Conboy.
You see a replay here of.
Hold it.
Who's that?
That's Jamie Conboy, I believe.
Oh.
Just holding those rogues and couldn't get it stopped. Man, I'm looking like I might eat some words here. These Porsche Cup cars are catching up to the back end of these GT4 cars quite quickly. I didn't think that we were going to get so many laps with lap traffic, but only 33 minutes in, and as you can see, there's probably only 20 or 30 second gap between them, so we're probably only 10 or so laps away from getting a lot of action with these Porsche Cup cars coming through the GT4s already. So I'm looking forward to that, and I think some of these GT4 cars are might not be looking for it just to trying to keep these battles keep going. So interesting to see how this unfolds coming in the next 10 minutes. As another replay, I think this is next name starts with B. It's lost me. Just exit through that last turn, flick it around. Hit the reversey.
I don't mind that.
That was Busk. That's the Busk. See, I knew it started with B. I'm so sorry, Busk. That is my bad. But mate, just a little loosey-goosey around the last turn.
Just a quick shout out to all the sponsors, and obviously the name sponsor at the top of your screens there, Thermaltake, throwing in some prizes for all the races. We had a mouse draw last night. I remember Blake Griffith saying that she almost got very close to winning it. Do you know who it went to last night there, Dave?
No, as again, like that's what I missed out on. I missed out on some streaming stuff last night, and I was a little bit disappointed in myself that I inspected the back of my eyelids a little bit early last night, and I just missed a bit of the racing. Wesley Yao, there we go. Thank you, Mr. Ben, giving us a shout out. It went to Wesley Yao. So
we see Shooty trying to get that beautiful Mazda right down the inside. Oh, great racing. Has to get in behind. Doesn't get the drive out. Bit of sausage curb. Gotta have to wait till the little left-hander and try and get some drive out of it down the straight.
Mate, if anyone's going to make that Porsche really wide, it's Mr. Lupti, Jaden Rondinella himself. He'll be making that car as wide as possible and making set. Oh, don't get another penalty, Rashidi. He's already got a 5-second penalty, and that contact just upsetting Rondinella a little bit more. And I know he's getting frustrated trying to get past him, but you've got to keep your cool here, Stefano. The leaders aren't that far away, and you make a couple of clean passes, you're going to easily chase them down. Good drive off turn one. Though. It's exactly what he needs. Just needs to keep his head a little bit more to make sure he doesn't get any more penalties. As we see, Dylan McDowell. What's going on, Dylan? Oh, not another turn one. Oh no! Throwing the championship away. Thurcolini getting through. Bechtold! Oh no!
No.
Drama! Dylan McDowell and Bechtold coming together. Conboy saying thank you. Miller saying thank you.
Oh no.
Dylan McDowell, that turn one has been an absolute nightmare for our drivers tonight. Wild
I
scenes.
didn't see that coming. Some of the best just getting, I don't know, just missing their marks and just running straight. Like, you can't get it pulled up in time, and there's no road out there.
Bechtold,
you can't jump over to the left there. You have to be looking in your mirrors.
Got to be looking in your mirrors. I know the
wood's not going to be favourable there, that's for sure.
I know the what's it called? Radar probably wouldn't have picked it up in time, but Dylan's got to be having his eyes in the mirror there, just making sure that his rejoin's nice and safe. As this Luke D. Rondinella and Rashidi battle just continues. This is the last lap we had contact in the last corner. I wonder what's going to happen this time. Keeping it lovely and clean this time.
Much smarter.
That's much better. Just got to, mate, he's got so much pace in that Maserati. Like Lenny Vinton is only a couple, 3 or 4 seconds up the road, mate. So if he keeps it nice and clean, he's going to make a mistake. Surely he doesn't get that name for no reason.
I'll tell you what, I don't think JT expect to be sitting on the podium at the moment. Been a bit lucky, but you got to take those times, those nights when things go your way.
He's coming up to his favourite corner where he made a mistake earlier on, and I think he just takes it nice and easy now, just hitting those marks. So, he's got Jack Miller nice and close. So Jack's actually, probably. I think Jack made that mistake earlier, so I know that battle's going to heat up in the next couple of moments as well.
It's got to feel nice as they being listed as a Pro-Am driver and giving that sprint driver a bit of a push along the track, getting in his mirrors. It's a bit of an ego boost, I think.
Mate, we go on board with Zach Jensen, and again, just driving himself to the front. I know he passed Zach Baker maybe 5 or 6 laps ago, and already has pulled in that 3-second gap down to only 3.5 tenths. So again, he's just showing great speed, and with his really solid. Yeah, that's for the Dylan McDowell call it for the contact on Bechtold there. But back to Zach Jensen. He's got some really great loopy there. There's a mistake. Rashidi up the inside. This should be job done. Absolutely outstanding overtake, Rashidi. Now you can set your eye to in front. Let's see if Zach Jensen can take advantage of a little bit higher heart rate loopy after making that mistake. Bringing it back in line. Good exit. There we go. Keeps those 4 wheels on the track. God's up. But now let's see how fast Rashuti chases down that 2.7 gap to Ralphie there. He's been doing an absolutely fantastic job as well, Ralphie. So in P2, he's been fast everywhere we've been. And let's see how fast this gap comes down now.
He's got 4 to 5 seconds to make to Benny V up there, which I think he can do that in 26 minutes. I think the last couple laps might get a bit spicy.
Yeah, I think with the gap that we saw in qualifying, if we can keep that time going, then you might see that gap close down really quickly.
As we
Jack
see,
Miller.
Jack Miller just with headlights full of Porsche, just oh my goodness.
Yeah,
that
exactly
awesome
right.
Racing.
Fill in the mirrors of that with the Mr. Combo with that beautiful blue and purple livery. We see how JC handles his turn 1 again. Gets it, tries to get it back to the apex, and Jack Miller down the inside. Who's the latest of late breakers?
I think he does. JC having to. Oh, I would have tried to go up and under a bit. A bit of an armchair racer here.
I know JC's going to go for this. JC, backs out.
That's great racing.
Mate,
Tell you what,
all from a turn 1 mistake, mate. All from a turn 1 mistake. It seems to be the corner that's giving our drivers the biggest problem.
Jack Miller just being like, I haven't had a problem with turn 1. I'm sending it. Like,
mate, he was the one that went off in front of Lucas Gee, so he's definitely had a problem.
Look,
yeah, mate, incredible that we've seen so much action through one corner that's just led. You think that turn 1, looking at its profile, just looks incredibly bland. But the track must be incredibly slippery tonight, and those brake markers must be hard to see. So, Doble's an absolute classy move there from Jack Miller.
Jack Miller just taking a leaf out of Ted Lasso there. You've got to be a goldfish, right? That's the animal with the shortest memory in the animal kingdom. Don't worry about what happened in T1 a couple laps ago. Just send it.
Just send it. Keep going.
Just send it. Keep going.
Well, there's an 8.5 second gap between Miller and Thurcolini now. And I know Miller was quite fast in qualifying, but Thurcolini poled it. So I wonder if that gap's going to come down at all, or if it's just going to be sayonara with Mr. Patrick Johnson and Thurcolini wrapping up P1 and P2.
You see, Shooty closing the gap to the Beamer down to 1.8 seconds. He did that in 2 minutes. He closed up second. So I see that coming around the 20th minute mark. We'll see some really good battling for the second place in the GT4s. We'll see Ron Danella.
Yeah, Lupton just needed someone to follow.
Yeah.
Lupton now's just gapped Zach Jensen as well. So with Rashuti now cleared that little battle, he's actually dragging all 3 of them up to Gareth here. So we'll see this battle heat up very, very soon, as we've got the Porsche Cup cars on the same straight as that. Rashuti, hold on! Oh my goodness!
That's getting all bent out of shape.
They're just wanting to throw it away tonight. But as we see the Porsche Cup cars now coming up on the back of our GT4 cars. So the lap traffic is going to start to cause some GT4 Cup cars some issues. So I'm interested to see how this all shakes out, because it doesn't seem to be as easy to pass tonight. With lower grip settings, that seems to be a little bit hair-raisy with some of these overtakes.
Got the YouTube chat absolutely going off. They're loving this racing. It's just been awesome overtakes these whole 20 minutes, 22 minutes. So
just
great racing. Gold B, Gorilla Snapper.
Yeah, mate. Shout out to everyone on YouTube chat. Again, if we've missed anything, or if anyone's watching any of the live streams of our drivers tonight, give us a shout out. Let us know what we can do to update everyone. Ralphie now feeling a little bit of pressure and just making a small mistake as well. We got Zach Baker. There you go, coming through the last turn. Oh no, it might be Rick Lean. I think that might be Rick Lean, because I think Baker's got the white one. So Rick Lean just going for a big drifter. Oh no, coming on.
What's your redress?
There we go. Yeah, that's a lovely safe one. Nice one, Rick. That's absolutely fantastic. Good job. So yeah, back to Raupi. This gap's coming down thick and fast, and what will actually play out more than anything in these last 22 minutes is whether or not Rashudi can actually get 5-second gap on anyone. You know, that penalty hanging over his head from early on really can shake up the final 20 minutes on, you know, Lupti just sitting there within a couple of seconds, Jensen just sitting there within 5 seconds. So, you know, as this battle keeps closing up with Raupi, you know, they've got all in the back of their mind. It's like, well, if I can hold Stefano up a little bit, you know, for a little bit longer, then I've only just got to stay within 5 seconds and I've got that position back. So it's that catch-22 of how hard do I race Stefano? Do I let him go and stay within the 5 seconds, or do I, you know, fight for every inch that I've got?
Tell you where I wouldn't want to fight, and that's T1. We've got no idea where the cars are going at the moment.
As Patrick Johnson comes up in the inside of Zach Baker, he's just going to send it down the inside. Make sure you hit those brake markers because it seems to be just slightly wide. It's fine.
Down the black stuff, yeah.
But it's interesting, you know, we always say as these Porsche Cup cars come up to the back end of the GT4s, they really start to mess with your rhythm and finding those brake markers and, you know, slightly going offline and, you know, apexing a little bit early, and all of a sudden you're out wide on the egg. You know, those tiny little micro mistakes that you make that end up bundling up into a bigger one. So that's exactly what multi-class racing is about. Is not only do you have to have the pace, but the real drivers make their track position by getting through the lap traffic efficiently and effectively.
You see Shooty now, this battle's on. He did follow him through the grass there a bit, but I don't know if this is going to last long. I feel like he's just got so much pace on this BMW. As soon as we get to the tight and twisty stuff, he's going down the inside.
Yeah, it's exactly what we've been saying is Ralphie's just making those tiny little mistakes and not getting those good exits. I think he just needs to slow those entries up a little bit and keep getting those good exits, and that Beamer will just power away from everyone. So the long legs of that Beamer, as we just see him just go off track exactly there, it just needs to keep it in the groove and use the horsepower of that BMW to drive away from the Maserati in the straight.
Maserati doing everything right, which is just hold the torch up to the back of that BMW and watch it melt, watch it stick down to the track.
Yeah, exactly right. And then Benny Vincent are out in front's going, hold on, Ralphie. Got 20 minutes to be in the lead here, and I need you to make sure Stefano stays behind you as long as possible.
Make that Beamer 4 cars wide.
Loopty in the background having a little mistake as well. So these battles are heating up with only, just over halfway, and we see the Maserati just trying to get the power down to the ground. And it's good to see Raupi just hitting those marks again. That's all he needs to do, is just hit those marks, and that BMW is going to be absolutely impossible to pass down these long straights.
Almost inviting it there, leaving the door a little open on the inside. Not quite getting enough drive. Oh, he's trying now. He's really getting the mirrors. A little bit frustrated probably as we've got the lap traffic of... we've got Pete Johnson now coming through these cars in a couple seconds. If Shooty can take advantage of it, just wait for the laps in concentration as you try and let that Porsche Cup car through. You might be able to sneak through as well. Bit of a freebie, I think.
Either try and use it as a bit of a pick and roll to get through the car, or try and see if it hinders the car in front of you with Patrick coming through very soon. And this is not what you want to see as the leader of the Porsche Cup car, is two battling GT4s. No waggle. Does he clear both?
Oh, he's got to get disadvantaged here.
Raupi just gone, yes, thank you so much. That's given me a little bit of breathing space. And the interesting feedback of, or the interesting laws and rules of as Raupi gets hindered off the exit with the blue flags, they don't actually have to give way, and Rashudi now got a huge run on the BMW, but it looks like just these legs of the BMW just stretches out. No chance to pass the BMW down the straight.
That's insane. Bop that. Put a restrictor on it.
I think we might have mentioned that a couple of weeks ago that the old GT4 BMW needs a little bit of a nerf.
Blake Griffiths there just playing a game of chicken down the straight there. That's great racing from both Griffiths and Baker.
That's for P6 in class, so Blake doing a great job here late with only 16 minutes remaining to get past Zach Baker. So Zach Baker continues to keep sliding down the order, which is probably not ideal and not what he's looking forward to tonight.
Well, these cars are just glued together at the moment, and I'm sure you're starting to get a bit agitated as Rashuti, but if you can't find a way past, he's not going to let you. This is second place we're talking about, you know?
Yeah, Gareth's been, absolutely putting this Porsche exactly where he needs to. Even in the previous weeks, I think he's had a couple of podiums as well, so he's not unfamiliar with driving with a lot of pressure on board. So, we'll see Zach Jensen also and Lupti keep closing this gap up as these two keep fighting and battling. So, I think this will soon become a four-way battle with Gareth doing such a good job out in the front of this GT4 little battle pack. Mate, 15 minutes. I was going to say 15 minutes remaining, mate. Who's your pick to come out on top in this GT4 battle?
I think Benny V might get it done, but he's not making the distance on these two battling cars is what he should. It's still only a 3.8 second gap. I thought that would have extended out to 6-7 seconds, but with the 5 second pen, I think it's going to Benny V. Can you see anything else there, Dave? Or
yeah, Benny V's definitely in the box seat for another GT4 class win. And yeah, I think as you just mentioned, that 5 second pen for Rashuti just really just doesn't help. I sit there in my little academy race and go, you know what, if I had a 5 second penalty, how many positions am I actually losing? And with how close this battle pack is, that really just drops you the entire way down the order. So that contact early on, the wrong lineup, that's what it was for, wasn't it? Yeah, lining up in the wrong position off the start is not a great way to start the race.
See, Loopy's closing to 1.4 seconds, and now Shooty's let through the faster cup cars. He's about to let through the faster cup cars, and that this has got to close up to a 3-car battle, which has got to be awesome to watch for the viewers over on YouTube.
Mate, the guys on YouTube need to help us out because Jack Miller is only 3.3 seconds behind Thurcolini. It was an 8-second lead not that long ago. So Thurcolini's either been taking his time getting through the traffic and Miller's been slicing through like a hot knife through butter and closed that gap up. And as you can see, that light blue Porsche there in the background getting through these GT4s, closing that gap up to Thurcolini, only 2.6 seconds now. So this battle for second in the Porsche Cup cars really heating up coming into the last 10 minutes. This might be a battle that we see go on on our main screen.
Just have beautiful view from the end of the straight there, following Rondinella coming down. Now the gas opened up a bit more. Jeez, I don't know. It's got to close up as we see the battle of Jensen trying to get down the inside. Loopy says, "No way past, mate." Not there.
Running it wide. We're shooting up the inside. Ralph, can he hold it back? Does he give him racing space? I know Ralph's going to try everything he can to get this position back. Holding it around the outside. Such close racing. And Rashuti through to P2. So let's see this gap now down to Benny V. I know Rashuti's been absolutely lightning, but it's now a 5.5 second lead. That's really hurt them this battle. So with only 12 minutes to go, we've got 5.6 seconds now between first and second in our GT4 class. We are starting to get it tasty and it's starting to get spicy in both classes now.
We have about, 7 to 8 laps left. Jeez. You need almost 0.2, 0.3 per lap to catch up. I don't know. I don't think he's enough time. And with the 5-second pen, even then, Benny V can just, if he catches up, you just follow him around for the next lap or two and take your win.
Jensen around the outside will turn to the inside Jaden Rondinella, and Loopty holds it around the outside. I think that was very polite racing between those two just then. Absolutely zero contact. Can we get Jensen coming through the field anymore? I know he's been absolutely lightning knocked down the straights in that Giannetta, but Rondinella doing such a good job in the tight and twisty section with those Porsches. So it'll be very tricky to see if we can get that overtake done. We've only got a 2.4 second gap between Jack Miller and Damiano Thurcolini for second and third in our Porsche Cup series. I wonder if there's going to be any lap traffic coming up in the near future for both of those guys as well, to see if that gap can close up as well. Bechtold trying to get around the GT4s as well at the same time. And as we always say, sometimes you get helped by the Cup cars coming through, and sometimes you get really, and just there, that really hurt Zach Jensen. You know, he was battling and trying to get an overtake done, and all of a sudden you have a Cup car come along and you lose a second. So that really hurt him.
The YouTube chat there, Twisted Chin. We will have the thermal overtake at the end of this race, and you'll be able to put your votes in and see who's got your pick for the number one overtake of the week. All huge thanks to our sponsor, Thermaltake, for putting that all together and letting the viewers vote.
There's four overtakes to choose from and a bonus clip, so make sure you hang around for that bonus clip tonight, because the four overtakes are absolutely fantastic to watch. And then I want the first person in chat to yell out what the bonus clip actually reminds you of. So I'll give a shout out to whoever puts in chat first who the two drivers are that it reminds you of for our bonus clip tonight. It's 9 minutes remaining, so we're only looking, I think, what are you going to look at, about 4 or 5 laps, not even that. So these battles are coming down at 0.86 between Miller and Thurcolini. Benny, can we get on that? We need to get, there it is. Those two are getting so close.
For that. Look, I know it is your favourite livery, Dave, and I'm going to be pretty biased because I do run a blue and purple livery as well. On the Ferrari, we've got is that JC turned around? It is.
I saw him go the entire way down the main straight. Between turn 1 and turn 2 on the grass. He didn't turn around at turn 2. He turned around off turn 1. So I think Benny will line that replay up for us. I saw it in the main screen side. And I'm like, what is going on? So another victim of turn 1.
Very expensive lawnmower here at the airport.
The manicure grass is only getting an absolute hammering tonight. Here we go. JC on board through turn 1. Hits the apex though, by the way. What's gone? Oh
my goodness!
That is too much. Too much apex. He's put the landing gear down too early and just spun out, trying to keep it going. God, that turn 1 must have been so hard tonight in these Porsche Cup cars. Miller with a big slide off the last turn, trying to get a run on him. Just under 8 minutes remaining. We've got Patrick Johnson clear out in the lead with a 14-second lead, but this battle for second is heating right up. Jack Miller, the Porsche main, so I wonder if that's coming into some help. But Thurcolini again, as of last week, does he lose his second place? I know he had a great battle with Dylan McDowell last week, and this is just another example of how clutch he has been. But that's Jack Miller, Jamie Convoy just sending it with the big Porsche Pogo.
It's getting in the air.
Across the grass. Love a Porsche
if
pogo.
someone can clip that and put it into as a little GIF, I think, in the Discord later. That'll be excellent.
Yeah, Snetterton aircraft strip was in full effect right there. Just the wings weren't deployed.
Just need a bit higher ground speed before you can take off the JC, and don't forget to ask permission from the tower.
Exactly right. So yeah, here we have Jack Miller just piling the pressure onto the back of Damiano Thircolini. Oh, a little bit of a mind punt coming in to the fast left-hander as we slow down. And just Thircolini parking it on the apex right now. I think that's not going to be the strategy. Yeah, not sure that's going to be the strategy around here. So this track is going to end up eventuating in a slight mistake and a run for Jack Miller, but these guys just keep getting closer and closer. No, we don't have any GT4s on the horizon anytime soon. We've got one that's already down at turn 2, so I think this is going to be a straight up fight for the last 2 positions on the podium.
This is just awesome. Again, some great racing on OOR. These guys are going to take it all the way to the line. Another mind punt. You can't do it from that far back. That's not going to stick. Not with this caliber of driver.
We have
another replay coming up here.
Wesley Yao. Just another grass cutting moment.
Yeah. By the man in Atlas.
No, not across the track. Oh. You've got to hold your brakes. As our lovely race director Hobbsy always says, hold your brakes.
Hold your brakes, Argle.
Mr. Dan Madden, just while we've got a couple of minutes left, shout out to Moser Race Gear that you got a massive order from them through the week.
Yeah, mate. I've moved away from the Fanatec after a couple technical issues. I'm now a full Moser fanboy. Some words I never thought I would say. But,
the Fanatec said computer said no, so welcome to Mr. Moser, the Moser universe.
Yeah, Moser managed to get this gear to the middle of the Pacific in about 15 days, but it was worth the wait, mate. Really excited to get back to racing again with the boys. Looking forward to the Kyalami Enduro coming up, the 9-hour, I believe. So probably
another one
there
of Mr. JC's favourite tracks, I've heard.
Just loves the sausages on the corners, I think, on the apex.
Yeah, they've got a special name for it. Anyone on YouTube World can shout that out as well. The second last turn at Kyalami is going to feel great in the Moser. Those are ripping it out of your hands. So we've got about
meters on it.
Yeah, we've got about 2 laps to go. Does Jack Miller get this move done or not?
What do you think? If you're 0.2, 0.3 back on the last lap, are you sending it, Dave, or are you just swallowing it and driving around to the finish?
They had a great race with Mr. Roy Yankin on Tuesday night, and he was half second back, and he had a bit of a lick of a stamp, so I've got to respect a good lick of a stamp and send it. Mr. JC, here we go again. Big drifter. Oh, no.
No. Oh, no.
I think, as we said, I think the rear tyres have finally given up. There must be some red balloons right now. He's had the red balloon voucher going for at least 3 or 4 laps.
Mate, huge shout out to you, Dave, in the wet at Barcelona, picking up your first Academy win. It's been a bit elusive for you, a lot of second and third places, and a couple of times where it could have been done. Mistake from first place puts you back in second, so well done there, mate.
Let's go. We got the big W, so that definitely gives me we've got Rick Lean off in the foreground as these two continue their battle. That definitely gives me the green light to step up to some sprint series racing next season, so that was the big milestone for definitely put myself in a lot of positions to win some Academy races. And finally, we clutched up. Thircolini covering the inside is going to hamper his exit onto them straight. Does Jack Miller get a bit of a run? No, just awesome drive off the corner from Damiano right there. Really just shuts it down nice and early on the main straight. That Jack Miller, another mind punt, just filling those mirrors with a blue Porsche as we go through the notorious turn 1. that's claimed so many of our cars tonight. And this battle just rages on with only 2 minutes remaining. So yeah, it must be this lap and one going. So my money's on Thircolini. I think last week he had let Dylan McDowell through with 4 laps to go. I think Damiano's got it this week. I'm going to back him again to get the job done. Oh God, it's my.
Oh, it was Thircolini on the last lap, wasn't it? Made a mistake and ran wide and let McDowell through.
Yes, we will see that coming up very soon. I won't spoil it for everyone. You will see a lovely flash of an orange Porsche. Hold it together, Thircolini, for me. Don't let me do it. Don't do it to yourself again.
Get out of the grass.
Wait, Patrick Johnson's had a little bit of a slow last few laps, and the lead's only 12 seconds now. Well, it's not 16 anymore as it was before, so he's definitely taking it easy through the lap traffic, making sure he makes no mistakes on his way to his first Porsche Cup Series win.
We've also got
for this series.
Just further down the field, we also got Rondinella trying to make his way up onto the podium for the GT4 cars, only half a second back from that BMW, which you know is just so hard to overtake. See it here.
They've got such
close
close
battles.
battles.
Under brakes, but just pulls away. Jeez, I believe he's got to struggle with only, he might have 1 lap left.
Yep, final lap, here we go. We've got Thircolini and Miller going through turn 1, Thircolini keeping it lovely and tidy, blocking nice and early.
Oh, he's going to try the outside. He's going to try the outside.
Miller runs it way too deep.
There's no grip out there, mate.
Out into the marbles, just didn't get the turn in that he desired. But he's definitely licking the stamp and going to send it. Backing Jack Miller here, he's going to have a try. Does Thircolini go the inside again? Yes, he signals nice and early. I'm going down the inside. You want to go anywhere, you've got to go around the outside. I mean, that's exactly what he needs to do for the last couple of corners.
Getting out of shape there.
Yeah, Jack Miller trying absolutely everything to fill up those mirrors and see if he can get any opportunity to slightly get his nose with that overlap underneath the inside rear quarter panel to try and make this overtake stick. As we come on the right-hand turn down, I think this might be the centre straight. We've only got about 4 or 5 corners remaining and really only 2 passing opportunities remaining. So these opportunities for Jack Miller, bit of a mind punt coming into this little chicane here. No mistakes from Thircolini. Good drive off. He's really only got 1 more corner to get through with this long right-hand sweeping corner. Not much that Miller can do right here if Thircolini just sticks to his line with no mistakes. 1 more brake marker. Miller! Oh, Thircolini holds it. Well done. That's great, right? Got Patrick Johnson with a P1. Domino Thircolini and Jack Miller rounding out your podium. As we see Patrick, yes, well done, Paddy. Give us some burnouts. Fantastic.
I don't know if we can flick back to Rondinella, who's going to be coming down. He's 0.2 seconds off the BMW with just a couple corners to go.
Yeah.
No, he's got half a lap to go.
This is essentially for P2 in GT4, so...
888 rocking the Craig Lowndes number on the car. Just noticed that.
Yeah, Ralphie running a little wide. So does Lupti. What's going on? Is there one last mistake in any of these guys? I really doubt it, but there's the amount of pressure that they keep loading onto themselves.
Here we go. You've just got to park it on the apex here. Park it. Yeah.
Lean through the last corner, and that's going to be...
I know you're close, but you can't do that on the BMW. He's got to just... straight down the straight there.
Big shout out. Benny Vintner, P1 in the GT4s. We're going to have Ralphie and Rondinella rounding out the podium with that 5-second penalty for Raschuti lining up in the wrong position. So there we go. Our 2 winners tonight, Patrick Johnson and Benny Vintner. Well done to all our other drivers. Thank you so much. That was some great racing. It was awesome. JC, yep. Pogo suspension in these cars. Yep, you need to call some developers and get them to upload some new dampeners for you because they're all worn out.
Brilliant.
Mate,
We've got more drives coming through now.
As we finish off the racing tonight, mate.
Green light,
We'll kind of get through this a little bit quicker tonight than we usually do, seeing that we've only got two commentators tonight. Well, I want your driver of the night, please, Mr. Dan Madden.
Oh, no, actually, this is a really easy pick for me, mate. That's got to be Jack Miller. That was an excellent drive, mate. He got JC and he just stuck it to Thurkalene. I know Thurkalene did a great job holding him off, but from a Pro-Am driver like that, mate, I wouldn't want to see anything else. Like, that's just great. How about you, Dave?
I'm going to give it to Gareth Raupi in the BMW P2 in the GT4 class. So absolute class drive from Gareth there. So he's going to be my pick for the drive of the night.
And now to everyone's favourite thing here, which is the thermal overtakes from round 4.
Mate, we've got an absolute awesome intro here from Thermaltake. So thank you so much for putting this together for us. And yeah, we've got 4 awesome clips to go through, and make sure you get your votes in the poll in the chat. But first off the rank, we have McLeod versus Mashwara, and we've got McLeod in the Lamborghini in the disgusting weather these guys had last week at Bathurst. As much as it was survival, there was still some awesome overtakes, and we have McLeod here in the Lambo, in the Intel Lambo, going around the outside and getting the job done. That's an absolute fantastic overtake.
So this is clip B. If you want to vote for it, we got Warren in that Porsche car just sending up the inside at Bathurst, and then he's going around the outside again in the wet. Oh mate, that is just awesome racing. That's one of my favourites.
That's a shout out to Mr. O'Brien just as well. I don't think he does anything, but just a little shout out, little clip for yourself.
Awesome livery.
And this is take a look and don't even see this black and orange Porsche. We don't currently see it into the braking zone, and suddenly appears Dylan McDowell just sending up the inside of his teammate Thurkalene, and this battle continues the entire way down the back straight. And as you can see at the top of the screen, this was the last lap, and this was for the last step of the podium through the flat-out right-hand turns down the back straight. And Thurkalene just can't get the Porsche to the apex right here. Just slides out wide, allows Dylan McDowell that little bit of space on the inside, and big drifter from Thurkalene, and that was his podium gone. And Dylan McDowell says, "Thank you so much," drives off into the distance.
Now Lewis v Stockton at the Hungaroring. If you go not far back, looking for a way past, maybe a mind punt up the inside. T1, beautiful. Park it on the apex, no way past. Great overtake there. Just classic racing move, that one.
And again, shout out
now
to
shout out to Thermaltake.
Yeah, we've got for putting this together for us. So please get your votes in right now in the poll. McLeod versus Mashwara is clip A. Warren versus Zavaka in clip B. McDowell versus Thurkalene is clip C. And Lewis and Stockton is clip D. Mate, what's your favourite at the moment, mate?
Look, for me, it was B. It was Warren coming up the inside and then around the outside in the wet at Bathurst. But looking at the viewers, they like the battle of the Ds. They're McDowell. They're all over it. 67% of people voting for it.
Yeah, the Porsche on Porsche crime's pretty good. But yeah, the clip C is just absolutely classic between the teammates. Yeah. I think that is definitely going to be my clip of the night. So yeah, that's going to be my favorite. And please make sure everyone get your clips in for the following week's thermal overtake. And here is our bonus clip: Taylor versus John Vettiger down the outside, and Taylor just absolutely sends it sideways. This is not how you take the chase.
It's the view I like from the inside of the car here on Vettiger, the red car.
This is pure
is
Coke.
great.
This is Coke advertisement right there. Coke Zero. Get your Coke Zero.
Shout out to Brian Cole.
I would like imagine. I would not like to see that in real life, let alone sim racing. That is just crazy. So, but I love a good bonus clip. Again, thank you so much to Thermaltake for putting that together for us. And as I said, get your clips into Discord. I know there's some awesome racing last night at the Hungaroring, so please get that going. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks to everyone for tuning in, and I think my brother will be back in the commentary seat next week, but it's been awesome. Great racing by everyone tonight, and we'll go to a break and then hand you guys over to the sprints.
Good evening everyone, my name is Aidan Squires and I'm joined by the wonderful Neil Haynes for Split Red GT3 tonight at the lovely Budapest Raceway, or otherwise called Hungaroring. How are you doing tonight, Neil?
I'm going really well, firing on all cylinders to be honest, Aidan. Looking forward to finishing up the sprint series here at Hungaroring for Thermaltake for round 5, I believe we're into.
Yep, tonight is the penultimate round of the Thermaltake Sprint Series, obviously at the Hungaroring racetrack. Very difficult technical track, arguably one of the most difficult in ACC, with 14 corners needing to be navigated. Luckily for the drivers tonight, the race isn't too long and there is only one mandatory pit stop for fuel, which the drivers only need to put in a small amount of fuel in the cars to clear that stop. Yeah, so looking forward to the race tonight. I hope you guys are all too, after that multi-class race at Snetterton between the GT4s and the Porsches. So sit back, relax and get some popcorn.
Yeah, definitely, if you're not already spilled your popcorn after that race earlier on. And it's also congratulations for the thermal overtake for McDowell and Thurkalini, with 55% of the viewers voting for Clip C over Warren and Zavaka of which was Clip B. So congratulations to McDowell and Thurkalini, and we'll see if we can get a Thermaltake overtake award from Split Red tonight in the votes for for next week.
Yeah, definitely, as we see the cars crossing the line after their first lap. So Breno Ellis taking that fastest lap so far. But here comes Lucas Keys. Let's see if he's remained valid, and he has. He beats Breno by about 1.5 tenths as we look on board with Patrick Johnson in that Bentley. Coming around the final corner, turn 14, very tricky sort of long corner. You got to kind of V it off to try get the best possible exit you can onto the main straight here, and Patrick slides that car into P4. The Bentley, obviously, as we've seen, decent around here, but a little bit on the trickier side. So drivers are now heading into their second lap, so they've got their bankers done, quite a few of them, and now they're going to start pushing and trying to gain some time as we look at Safik here, who I believe might have gotten a promotion. I'm not sure if he was always silver, so congrats if he did get a promotion as he crosses the line and heads into P11. Here's Patrick Johnson again, 2/10 up, heading through the fast left-hand kink of turn 4. He's gaining a little bit of time on that delta as he heads into the long right-hander of 5. Very tricky section. This now heads into the extremely difficult chicane. There's so much time here. It's probably where most of your lap time is that Bentley jumps over the curbs, loses a little bit of time, but only 2/100s as Breno Ellis in the OnlyFans livery, now that the livery is actually working, is looking to improve slightly. Yeah, is looking to improve slightly behind Nathan Monks as he bails, I think, as he doesn't want to get stuck in the traffic.
Yeah, it's good to see the delivery of the Aston as well of Monks, because we missed out a couple of rounds as well where we had problems where it was just black, so it's nice to see that green and yellow livery of the Aston. And talking about someone that may be missing, I can't see Brady Adderton out there, who's second in the championship at this stage. So, Aiden, I guess they get a drop round in the championship. Is that correct? Out of their worst scoring round, so maybe he'll be using this round as the possibility of taking away from his worst round.
Maybe, but if you guys cast your mind back to Bathurst, he did actually have a disconnect in that race. So I'm not sure if he has a drop round spare. If we are doing drop rounds this season, I'll maybe get someone to confirm in chat whether we are doing them. But if there is one, he's already used it, I think, after that disconnect.
Yeah, last week
round.
At Bathurst.
Yeah,
exactly. He did too. He was going well and it just disappeared. So maybe he's thinking that maybe he might be busy. We're not too sure, but it's a shame that we haven't seen him, or maybe he might squeeze in just before the end of qualifying and we might see him. But Rashudi here, currently third. He's been showing some good form. Currently third in this championship, so maybe looking to find himself second after this round if we don't see Brady hit the track very shortly.
Yeah, definitely. I think Lucas has a pretty good chance of wrapping this championship up. I reckon he's definitely in the running to secure, as Patrick Johnson does just eclipse his best time, I've just noticed. So while we were waffling about that drop round, Patrick has gotten past for that current pole position. However, I'm sure that Nissan has a bit more left in the tank, as the times are 43.5, which if any of you have been watching the previous qualifying sessions, a lot of the times were on the lower 43 part, and from these sort of caliber of drivers, I would expect them to match that or even go quicker than that.
Yeah, I'm sure. As I said, 4 minutes is still a fair way to go for these guys, and they'll probably squeeze out probably 3 more laps roughly for most of these drivers, depending where they're on the circuit. So we'll see how it all pans out. Rashudi's obviously just come for a reset into the pit lane, I saw, and he's back out again. So he's got some fresh tyres, or maybe just a little bit of a change on his setup, and see if he can better that third position. But Walsh, doing well in the silver class in 6th position, not far away, and he's actually up on his delta, if we're correct.
He did invalidate, I saw.
Oh, he has too,
on the
chicane, red timing.
I think.
Yes.
Yep. Just took a little bit too much.
There.
Yeah. I just noticed it because the chicane's pretty tricky, and a lot of the time you'll see people's white time go to red as they jump over that chicane. That's a pretty good indicator that they've invalidated, so he's going to miss out on this lap, unfortunately, as we see Lucas as well. Now, this might not be invalid because sometimes the timer just has a bit of a moment and, you know, just goes completely wrong on your out lap. So we'll see if this is actually valid from Lucas, because this will put him on pole, and it is by quite a margin. So I think the drivers around are going to start to struggle to match the times that Lucas is going to start putting in now, unless of course he invalidates, which is easy to do, as we see Taufik, 711 Ferrari, gains a 10th, so that's going to move him up 1 spot in front of Ellis. Obviously, the top 5 drivers all out on the track right now, putting in their laps, as we see Ellis has just crossed the line and I think bumped himself up above Taufik as well. As we see Monks here in P12, not particularly the position I would expect him to be in, as a pretty quick driver, but he's gained 3/10 on this opening part of the lap as he puts into the chicane. Lots of time to be gained there. The Aston does get a bit of a bounce on the exit, which does lose him just a tiny bit of time, but he's still got the rest of the lap to make up that time as he heads around and we see the thong on the back of the car through this very tricky 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and 11 sequence of corners as now he heads through turn 11 onto the back straight. Little straight this just gives you a bit of time to breathe and line up the next corner, which is turn 12, a sharp 90-degree right-hander and into the second last corner, which is a very long sort of sweeping left-hander, which follows by an immediate, basically opposite, where just a sweeping right-hander onto the main straight. So Monks is only going to gain 2/10, which is not really enough if he wants to be fighting with the pros. But Lucas again improving even more down to a 42.6, which is a pretty fast time. I doubt anyone's going to be able to get really close to that because that is a lot quicker than we've previously seen in the quali sessions at this track.
Yeah, Ellis is on a move though to try and get up to second position. I overtake Patrick here, so if he can keep this going, I think he's done that, and he has. So nice job by the Audi driver.
Yeah, definitely. He's been expressing his grievances with the Audi here. Not that it's a terrible car, but the Audi obviously one of the trickier cars to drive. As Patrick gets a big drift on, and we switch to Tim Goab in that Milwaukee Ford, heading down the back straight. He is equal on his Delta, so he'll have to find a little bit more time in these last few corners if he wants to gain anything. Currently sitting at P7, which is a pretty good effort from him. Being a silver driver, he's kind of in that sort of silver zone with Walsh and Johnson just behind Jusman as well. He might gain a little bit here, but it's not going to be much unless... Oh, wow, okay, so he must have had a pretty bad final corner in previous laps, so he does gain just over a 10th, and that puts him up to P6.
Yeah, great job. It's Carl Johnson coming around. I think this is the final corner. Yes, it is. So he's up here. This is going to be his final run here to the flag. Let's see where that might put him. I think it's going to move him up into the top 6. And there's a few more cars to come through yet, so it's not guaranteed as Lucas Keys.
I think he just ran wide there and invalidated and decided to add a little bit of spice to the end of that lap. But yeah, I don't think Lucas is going to be challenged as Patrick Johnson is 3.5, 4/10 down on this lap, so that one's kind of in the bin for him. We saw Gobby cross the line just before the timer ran out, so he's in the prime position for the most rubbered in track and theoretically the best possible conditions for a good lap time as we see him bounce through that chicane. The Ford, surprisingly, I've heard from Glory that it's not too good over that chicane, so a car you'd expect to be better sort of over the curbs is actually fairly difficult as he heads into turn 11 now, or very close to the edge of those track limits, but he is equal on that Delta. He's going to put it into turn 12. The right-hander, he's going to just lose the tiniest margin as he brings it into turn 13. Keeps it nice and narrow. Very good there. Nice and neat as well. And into the final corner of 14. Now, he did have a pretty good final corner last lap, and he's drifted a little bit wide, and that's going to be the end of his lap. And that is the end of qualifying. So, Lucas Keys taking out pole by almost 7/10 in that GTR, followed by Breno Ellis, Patrick Johnson, Stefano Rasciuti, Taufik, Carl Johnson, Tim Goab, Alex Walsh, Jusman, and Robert Brickley to round out the top 10.
Yeah, sensational qualifying by all the fellas out there, and they're going to get themselves all organised now for this main race. As we said, it is a mandatory stop for few only, and I don't think many will take the tyres. They'll probably make a little bit of time without changing tyres.
Yeah, definitely. Last night we saw majority of the cars obviously not take tyres and just run most of the race and pit in the last sort of 10 to 15 minutes because this track is fairly difficult to overtake. So you can kind of gain time by, even though the 50-50 is theoretically the fastest, you might lose time in traffic, and because it's really hard to overtake here, you might as well take the safe option and go 80% of the race and just do a splash and dash at the end without taking tyres. So yeah, I assume that's what we're going to see from most of the drivers here tonight.
Yeah, we'll see how they all go. Obviously, as you said, it's going to really, the strategy is going to influence where they are in the traffic, one would think. And I think we're just saying here, Babby did a 43.1 for qualifying, we think. So Alex Keys with that 42, sub 42 was, or sub 43 anyway, it was pretty impressive.
Yeah, definitely. Although that's kind of what we expect from our resident alien Lucas. So I wouldn't have expected anything better from Lucas, or anything worse, I should say. As we see Nathan Monks' Aston Martin British Racing Green on the right, and I believe that's Pete Chalmers' Kovacs Porsche on the left. And the big smiling BMW, very recognisable, driven by Harry Smiles with the somewhat unsettling smile on the front. I'm not sure if I would really want that to be closing in behind my car, as we get a close-up of it.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like it needs some dental work there as well. There's a few little bit of gunk in those teeth. But tell you what, he's had these little bit of troubles during this series as well. So hopefully he has a clean run here around Hungaroring and get a good result, because he really does deserve a good result. Sooner than later anyway.
Yeah, as we see Ben Curtis's orange Mustang down there on the left, and the other Porsche of Pete Viney, I believe, the 118. Also the 98 Porsche of Igor. We'll see if Igor can do as well as he did last week at Bathurst, obviously going from around a similar place on the grid in quali all the way up to almost, I think, the P10. So this track obviously a little bit less treacherous than Bathurst was last week, with it being fully flooded, and a little bit more business as usual this week in terms of conditions. But turn one here can be a pretty dangerous spot, as we've seen in some of the other splits. So always keep your wits about you for this turn one and even turn two here.
Yeah, it could be. Obviously, you do have those instances, but there's also a lot where some of the mid-pack and people at the back can gain a lot of positions as well, with cars having to rejoin if there is an incident. But yeah, as you said, you do need to really have eyes forward and try and get your car positioned in the best possible place to avoid any of the carnage that may happen. And we'll see how those guys go. And maybe Brad Gosling can move up from the 22nd position in that BMW and get up into the teens. We'll soon see. I don't think he had a very good Bathurst, to be honest, as well. I think he struggled out there in the wet in that BMW.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty, as I said, treacherous conditions last week, so I think the drivers will be thankful that there's no flooded track again this week. They've just got a nice, dry, clean, fast racing surface to drive on tonight. So as we said, 45 minutes for these drivers, 45-minute race with one pit stop. Now, if you found yourself a little bit further down the field, so if you're maybe Nathan Monks, or maybe not Pete Chalmers because the Porsche is really good on fuel and tyres, but if you found your way a bit down the grid, you can pit fairly early to just get out of the traffic. Now, the downside of that is that if there's cars further towards the back of the grid, you will catch them fairly soon, but if you can actually do your pit stop, your mandatory pit stop fairly early on, which can get you out of the traffic. So that's just another part of the strategy that comes with these sort of longer races on these sort of tracks that lend themselves less to overtaking. But anyway, go around the final corner and you can take it the start away, Neil.
Yeah, hopefully they all take their grid boxes this time. We have seen a few penalties where drivers have not been taking their line, but Well, looks like it's very lined up, very nice and even here, and there's no one out of position. And we'll just see how maybe Johnson, the guys in the second row, if they can get up alongside and make an early position on Ellis, who's going to be caught around the outside on turn 1. He's taken a very wide entry, Ellis, and he's challenging around the outside of Lucas. And we'll soon see. It looks like everyone has got through nice and clean, but Lucas has been able to hold on to that P1 out of the exit of turn 1. And we're having a look at, I think it's, is that Walsh?
Taufik and Gillard.
Taufik.
Yep.
Doing what he can do here in the black Ferrari and go in that Mustang. We'll see if he can ride these curbs. He was having some trouble in qualifying, but looking good to get that car through this little section of the circuit. He's got all the pressure with Johnson behind him, but Ellis.
Yeah, Ellis finally got that livery working after 5 weeks of the blank Audi. But we can see some of the cars going side by side. That's Nathan Monks and the Ferrari, and that's the K Motorsport Ferrari going wide as well. So this is Rosser, who's I can't exactly remember where he started, but he's doing well to hold off Nathan Monks at the moment. Obviously Monks a pro driver, and Monks is kind of among the weeds here with some of the cars quite close behind us. See the Ferrari give a big sniff, the Ferrari of Walsh give a big sniff to Carl Johnson's Porsche in the latter sector of this lap, so they're heading into the final corner right now. We might see some overtakes here and some plays. So there we go, there's that Ferrari of Walsh straight into the pits, like I said. So some people just going to pit on the first lap because you know, they want to get out of that traffic. So Walsh has done that. So we might see some overtakes into turn 1. No, we don't, not yet at least. Monk's also into the pits. So yeah, like I said, I think Monk's maybe making the strategic play here and just going for a nice sort of Sunday drive by himself. Once he comes out of the pits, he's just able to get the hammer down and put in some good laps, which will pay him back obviously towards the end of the race.
Yeah, we'll see how that all goes. As Monks, I think he started in 12th, and as we said before he came into the pits, I think he dropped a couple of positions into 14th. So Rosser, obviously, I think probably had the better of the start between those guys, and up into 12th position, doing a great job for the AM class. The only driver out there in the AM, it looks like at this stage. But we're on the back of Ellis and having a good look at Patrick Johnson trying to position that Bentley in a position where he can try and hound the back of Ellis and force a mistake. And if he can, that Bentley will surely be there fairly quickly. It's elbows out, just the width of that Bentley already, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I reckon this will be a pretty interesting battle between possibly Ellis, Johnson, Rashuti, and maybe even Taufik. As the Bentley has some really good acceleration, so he'll be able to get onto the back of the Audi, but the limited overtaking spots here is going to make it quite difficult for him. The Audi pretty good on the brakes as well, and then the Ferrari sitting just behind is kind of just a jack of all trades really. It's pretty good in the sort of mid to final sector of this track, but it doesn't really have the top speed or raw acceleration to phase the Bentley, as Patrick goes a little bit wide under brakes into turn 1. Very easy to do in the Bentley. The Bentley's brakes are quite difficult to really get the hang of, and when you get in the toe it really does just take off. So he's got to be careful of that, as P finally gets a 15-second penalty for causing a collision on lap 1. So I don't believe we saw that. Obviously there might have been a few little incidents going on lap 1 that we didn't catch, but we're going to jump on board with Tim Gelwood through the fast left-hander of turn 4, not using all of the track there, maybe a little bit scared of the track limits in this race. Obviously if you get too many, that's a drive through and you really don't want one of them, so playing it a little bit safe maybe so far.
Yeah, it's something you don't really want to do you? Get that first initial warning early in the race, and then you start, you know, that starts in the back of your mind, stays in the back of your mind, and you can't quite concentrate your race when you start accumulating those. So as we said, I think we got 3 before they have a drive-through, but Got Rishuti trying to put that extra pressure on. He had the fastest lap previous lap in that Ferrari, and here we go. This might show what happened with Viney.
Ooh,
yeah.
It's at the back of the Lambo. I think that's Zach Jensen in the Lambo. Just got pinballed. Yeah, unfortunately for Zach, got kind of he was the white ball in the snooker. So
Yeah, pretty much.
yeah, didn't really have much he could have done there, unfortunately. It's just how it is sometimes on lap 1 here. As Patrick Johnson again just in this little battle with Ellis and Rishuti. And maybe Taufik will catch on to them as Rishuti very wide through turn 2, quite easy to do. Again, a lot of these corners require absolute maximum concentration, so obviously if you lose that concentration, it's very easy to go off here.
Yeah, great part of the circuit coming down the hill and then lining up for that that left handle that we just seen. I'd just negotiate there too, because it's really about just getting that line in so you can keep that throttle in, not drift too wide to get to track limits. And as you said, this chicane is fairly tricky. We did see a few guys invalidate their qualifying times through the chicane, and as you said, Aidan, it's a place where you can gain some time, but you can lose a lot of time through that chicane as well.
Yep, and get track cuts. So yeah, I mean, you don't really want them, especially in the early parts of the race, like you said. Obviously, being a mental thing and also being the way the ACC works with detecting track cuts is if it thinks you gain time, and if you've had a bad lap because of traffic or, you know, first lap or whatever, and the game thinks you gain time, it's going to give you a warning. As we look on board here, so that's Viney in front. We're looking for a move on Ben Curtis. Oh wow, that is way too late on the brakes from the KA Ferrari. Is that O'Brien? I think, yeah, it is.
The 420, yeah, O'Brien, yeah. They maybe just get caught out a little bit too with the battle pack, and just obviously just slowing down that little bit extra than if he was on his own. So took the avoiding action so he didn't get into the back of the car in front, and he's had a spin, but he'll get back in there and see how he can go. Gosling up to 18th as well. We obviously had the early pit stoppers that we saw on lap 1. So that's pulled him up from the back of the grid up to 18th in that BMW.
Yeah, Patrick Johnson sort of under attack from Rishuti now as Breno just slightly ekes out that gap. And Patrick possibly just having to drive in his mirrors a little bit more with that Ferrari starting to close up behind him. And yeah, we'll see if the Ferrari can get past, because the Ferrari has shown over the past few races here that it is a fairly strong car. We saw Brian Kong get pole in split yellow, and some of the other Ferraris so far have been doing pretty well. Is Rishuti possibly going to pull out and look for a move? Thinks better of it, but I think it might be on the way sometime soon with the pace that Ferrari's showing right now.
Yeah, it definitely looks a lot faster. He's very racy at the moment in that Safer King slow Ferrari, and let's see if he can get this done into turn 1. If he gets a good exit here, you can see the Bentley struggling for a bit of mid-corner, but then on exit, Rishuti just losing a bit of pace. Maybe just spun the wheels a little bit, losing traction.
Yeah, and once that Bentley kind of gets through second gear and is able to get the power down without sliding, it is fairly quick, especially in this sort of straight where it's not too long. It doesn't really have time to fully run out of gas, but it can use that acceleration. But the Ferrari is definitely going to give it something to think about in the sort of twistier corners here, because the Ferrari just loves the sort of long sweeping corners, especially at this track. So yeah, Ferrari's definitely one to watch out for, as well as Taufik, I reckon, towards the ending stage of the race. Taufik always just loves to, from my experience racing him, just loves to kind of be a grey man for the whole race, and then right at the end just pop up and he's saved his tyres, and then he just attacks you when there's like nothing you can do. So we'll see if Taufik can put on a bit of a challenge a bit later on in the race.
Yeah, I could just imagine. Yeah, he sort of does that late in the race, as you said, and comes on really strong near the end. But Gobes is also just sort of keeping in touch with Safik too. So as long as this battle keeps going, we may have those two cars slowly join the pack here. And this is the question. I think that maybe. I was going to say, I thought Tafiq might have been thinking about going for a pit stop then, because he did sort of just get off the racing line a little bit. Looks like he was going wide to maybe take that pit entry, but no, he's continuing on. But that could be the option soon too, I guess, Aiden. But depending where they might pop out, I think they should get out without getting any traffic if they did pit at this stage.
Yeah, definitely, as we see Rosser having a go at after adjustment into turn 1. Turn 1, the prime overtaking spot here, but Rosser just sending it a little bit too deep. You can sometimes hold it around the outside, as we saw last night from Vediga, I believe it was. But when you're trying to overtake a car of obviously equal sort of machinery, as it's another McLaren, it's very hard to do. So from the defending that Josman just did, it doesn't look like he's going to give this one up too easily. So Ross will have to get a little bit creative possibly in his overtaking here, because as we said before, it's really only turn 1 and possibly turn 2 that offer a proper sort of overtaking spot. The track is quite narrow and difficult to overtake in other spots, but if you do manage to overtake in some other spots, you might find yourself on the thermal overtake of the week. So I guess there's that.
Exactly. There's always something to aim for, and Rosser, yeah, this is obviously a battle for class as well, for all class honours in this race. So this is going to be a very good battle just to keep an eye on throughout this race. Both in the McLarens too, so very even.
Yeah, these two Pro-Ams and I guess Brickley as well doing well, kind of splitting some of the silvers pace-wise, and then there's obviously the sea of Pro-Ams a little bit further down, so very healthy numbers. If you're currently watching this in the Academy series, feel free to move up. Just send the admins a text and say that you'd like to move up if you feel you're ready to do that, because we're always welcoming new people in sprints, so don't be afraid. Just go for it and you'll have fun.
Yeah, never be afraid. And here we are with your mate Sam O'Brien in his 0420, coming back from having that spin, avoiding the cars going into the chicane early. So he's not really in this company generally. I think he's usually a little bit further up, so we'll see if he can get this move done on Zavaka, I think it is.
Yeah, Igor drove into turn 1 a bit wide, and that allowed O'Brien to get up the inside on the exit, but the Porsche drive got him out of that corner and allowed him to stay alongside and obviously hold the inside for turn 2, which is definitely the line you want. But yeah, maybe Sam not having too much practice on this track. I know this track is not quite really as popular as some other tracks. You don't see it too often on the calendar. So yeah, maybe just lacking a little bit of practice here, as he's definitely looking for the move here on Igor. Yeah, as you said, Sam's generally pretty quick, and he was just in the top 10 at Bathurst last week until he was unfortunately tagged, but still a very good effort from him last week.
Yeah, under no fault of his own, as we saw at Bathurst. But yeah, he's doing well here to see if he can get back up the grid order after avoiding that earlier incident. But Igor also had a fairly good run at Bathurst as well. I think he had a few little mistakes near the end, but showed some promising pace in those real challenging conditions.
Yeah, definitely. As that Ferrari, maybe he's going to have a look down the straight, or he might feint a dive and try to get Igor to brake or outbrake himself, like what happened last lap. As he takes a very wide line on the way in, but Igor's not going to give this one up easily, as they both get a bit of oversteer on the AstroTurf on the exit, which compromises compromises O'Brien quite a bit, as we see as well. Patrick just clobbering those curbs, just bouncing up and down. I wonder if he's got any track cuts from any of those so far. But yeah, that Bentley just still kind of struggling. Breno's pulled a 2.3 second gap to Patrick, and obviously Rashuti is right on the back of him. He's going to try look for a move here into turn 12, but thinks better of it. And yeah, I mean, the Bentley, I think Mags yesterday was driving it as well. I don't think he particularly had the greatest time, especially compared to driving a car like the Ferrari. But Patrick is definitely one of the strongest Bentley drivers on the field. There aren't many of us, but Patrick is who I go to for any Bentley questions, so thanks to Patrick for giving me some advice. So we're looking at the back of Pete Chalmers' car at the Ferrari of Rossa, number 18, and Porsche might be under threat here from that Ferrari, as once it gets going in the tow, it's actually fairly good. He's possibly going to go for a move as Chalmers moves over to the right hand side to defend the inside into turn 1. Ross is just going to try to stick his nose around, but there's not much you can do there unless you're fully alongside going into the braking zone. So he's going to stay behind for now, but Rossa looking very racy.
Yeah, doing a big improvement in his racing throughout this season, and I'm sure we're going to probably see him with a black, black number board very shortly, and getting away from the AM division, because he's definitely showing some good racecraft and some solid pace. But I'm finding it a little bit strange that Rashuti's not opting to possibly pit, very shortly, like a bit early, because he's just struggling. He's clearly got the pace on this Bentley, but just can't. He's getting checked up through the mid part of the corners and just can't keep the flow of that Ferrari, because the Bentley's just in the right spot, defending really well. And I would see that if he jumps in, fairly soon, he's got the chance of beating Johnson to it and leapfrogging. So the only other option I'm thinking is he's just probably hoping that Johnson's going to pit before him, and then he'll just stay out for those few extra laps. But as you said, Johnson's very seasoned campaigner, and he'll probably try and edge this. He knows where he is. He probably won't pit early. He'll just keep going right down to the end and keep his track position, I'd say.
Yeah, as Savaka, I've noticed, has got a drive through, so that will be 4 track limits, unfortunately. And he's just returned to pits, so we'll have to catch a squiz at what that was. But I'm going to have to eat my words here with Taufik, unfortunately, because Tim Goab is kind of driving right up to the back of him at the moment. So Taufik either is saving really hard or just doesn't quite have the pace to match Rashuti at the moment. So yeah, Tim Goab starting to close onto the back of him now. Obviously, closing onto the back of someone and overtaking is a completely different deal, as we see Igor here goes to the inside and just kind of brakes. So I think maybe he had the DT before that and just decided he didn't want to continue. But yeah, that's a bit of a strange exit from Igor there, because he wasn't doing too badly. He was holding up O'Brien last time we saw him.
Yeah, he was doing pretty good out there. But anyway, that's sometimes how the cookie crumbles, and we're enjoying this race here. But yeah, Taufik, when we get back to Taufik, when we saw him previously, when we were talking about how he can cut, he just holds on and he just shows himself near the end of the race. He's always up in that top 5, which obviously is currently in the 5th position at the moment. But he was only 1.6 seconds or something off that Rashuti, so now he's almost 4 seconds behind. So one would think that he's maybe had a little error or something possibly that we haven't seen, but because the gap's sort of maintaining itself now, so I'm just assuming that he might have had a little problem.
Is this Rossa and Chalmers? Oh, that was very close. And Rossa just on the outside there gets hung out to dry by Chalmers in turn 12. And yeah, like you were saying, it's a bit strange with Taufik at the moment. And Sam O'Brien also, I've noticed, has got a drive through, so That's 2 drive-throughs in the first 20 minutes of the race. Obviously, the longer we go on, we might see a few more, and the drive-throughs are a pretty big killer here.
Yeah, definitely.
Losing a lot of time.
And that could also be, when he was following Igor as well, and as you were saying, cutting that chicane. And when you're following a car close, if he gets a track cut and you're following him, pretty much you're going to get a track cut as well. So it's pretty tough. You've got to really try and isolate yourself from the car in front when you hit chicane. Make sure try and make your normal lines, but it's so hard to do when you don't get that fusion in front of you and always see the back bumper of the car in front.
And the dirty air through these long sweeping corners too. It's very easy to just get pushed out wide.
Definitely.
Robert Brickley, back of his GTR. So one of 2 GTRs this race. You see that the GTR is in Austria. He's just left. But yeah, Brickley, I top 10 dash is a good finish for a Pro-Am driver. And as we see, side by side again in the background, Chalmers Ross has turned him and Chalmers has come back across. So I think we'll have to pick that up from turn 12. They were side by side. They've been side by side. Oh no, sorry, this is that corner. Ross has just can't do that. Ross has just tried on them. Chalmers obviously rightfully hasn't left the space to have to do. And Ross has tried to go for the move, even though there wasn't space in turn. But I think that battle's going on for a few laps now. They were side by side coming out of turn 12 as well, and I think maybe Ross is just getting a little bit frustrated.
I apologise to Callum, I think, as well, because I was just talking him up to Aidan, so the commentator's curse. I was telling that he's going to rub that red board off his name and get into the Pro-Am slot with his racecraft. But yeah, the old over and under, he just got that wrong on Chalmers. So yeah, we'll wait to see what happens with the stewards there. But here we go again, Raschuti and Johnson playing a little bit of cat and mouse here and seeing who's going to pit before who, and I would assume if Raschuti pits, we'll find Johnson go in the next lap. So Johnson really does not have to pit until right at the end of the pit window, because he's got that track position on Raschuti. So it's really up to Raschuti to pull the cards out here and dive into the pits, but he's not going to do it. He just keeps following Johnson. And in all the meantime, we've seen Ellis extend this gap. It's not too far in front, so Rashuti's still got a possibility of getting second place on this race, but I think he needs to, bite the bullet and pit fairly soon.
He's going to go for it here.
He's done it, I think. He really sent it down the inside, but the Bentley's going to have the next corner, but look at the legs of the Bentley, just starts to overpower him.
Oh, that's close. Side by side through turn 2. Possibly going to continue on to turn 3. Raschuti definitely has the advantage here, but Johnson holds it round the outside. Awesome racing from these two as we approach the fast left-hander here. I feel like Johnson should have the edge through this part of the track, and he maintains that position. But I think possibly Raschuti just braking a little bit late, and Johnson saw him coming and kind of had to move out the way and leave him the room. But either way, it was still a very entertaining few corners there as Johnson just smashes that curb and kind of bounces up over it. But yeah, you think after that Stefano would really have to think about jumping into the pits.
Yeah, that could have almost been a thermal overtake of an overtake, couldn't it? We had Raschuti actually did get his nose in front, and probably just a car in front, but then obviously Johnson came back at him again and made that move. And look at Raschuti, still not giving up, but these corners just doesn't lead you to be able to get a couple consecutive. And a little bit of argy and bargy by Johnson, just showing his dominance here, that this is my position here. You're going to have to work really hard, which we've seen Raschuti do for the last 20 minutes. But oh man, I think it's going to have to be that pass in the pit lane. I don't like to keep mentioning it, but look at on these totem pole too, all these red penalties coming up. We've got to stop go for Gosling. So all his hard work has been undone. So unfortunately, that's no good for that BMW driver. Only 2 out there this round.
Yeah, so how do you, question to Ben or Ryan Anderson or Ben, whoever's in the chat, how do you get a, oh no, Ben's racing, isn't he? How do you get a stop go 30? Because I thought it would be speeding in the pit lane, but according to his pit thing, he hasn't pitted yet, so that's a
Could have
question I
it been a
have.
drive-through that he had to serve and possibly sped through the drive-through? Would that be an option?
Yeah, that would be an option actually. Yeah, that could be it.
Not that I saw
yeah.
a drive-through for him though.
Yeah, maybe he did the drive-through and then ended up speeding in the pit lane, which would be very, very unfortunate. And that's another curse for you tonight. Talking about how he's made a few positions. So we're doing well with the curses tonight. As yeah, quite a few penalties being dished out so far. So hopefully the drivers can keep it a little bit more clean in the latter half of this race. But the battle between Stefano and Patrick has been pretty good over the last few laps, I must say.
Yeah, that was very entertaining. A couple of laps ago, run down the hill side by side. Two great drivers at it, and here he goes. So Raschuti has now decided this is it. This is the time, and we'll now have to see what Johnson can do. So he's going to be hammer down, as we all know, Aiden, to try and make sure that he negates this early pit stop from Raschuti, because Raschuti will be doing all he can on his out lap, and the next lap is if he can to try and make this move done through the pits cycle.
Yeah, I think if Raschuti can get this pit done and just put in a few clean laps, he should be able to get past Johnson. However, Johnson can respond by pitting this next lap and possibly keeping that position. It'll be very close, but that is an option he has. So we'll see if he decides to pit now and try to cover off that possible undercut from Raschuti that's on the way. Or does he trust that Raschuti is going to possibly get stuck in traffic, because there are a few cars in front of him right now. It's Carl Johnson and Tim Goer. Oh no, actually.
No, I think there's
it's
a
some
few
blue
others.
flags.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
Yeah,
Or,
so but the
blue
thing
flags.
is, he's at the very back of that train, so he will catch up to him fairly quickly, but you know, let's hope that they're not going to hold him up too much. But yeah, I thought that he might have been popping out right in the middle of that train, but he's, you know, probably 2 or 3 seconds behind that train of cars, so good way just to get himself back into a rhythm. And it doesn't look like Johnson, I'm not too sure if he's electing to pit. Here he comes around. No, he's going to stay out, so
Possibly
maybe he's
hoping that the traffic holds Raschuti up.
that's what I was
I'm
about to
guessing.
say. So maybe he's got some intel saying that where he might have popped out.
Yeah, or he's just gonna accept maybe that Raschuti is gonna get past him and he should just try to consolidate his position. But that is not really the racing driver's mindset. So I think he'll go for. I think someone of Patrick's expertise will go for whatever option gets him the best places, and yeah, which is probably trying to hold off Raschuti any way he can. As you see, Breno Ellis 8 seconds down on Lucas, and then the gap obviously to Johnson behind is 7.6 seconds. So top three have kind of just driven off into their own sort of little realms here, and Patrick has just got to put in some nice clean fast laps without getting any cuts to make sure he stays ahead of Raschuti, as we see the Bentley just drive straight over that curb. And more cars starting to do their pits now. So Zach Jensen in, he's completing his stop at the moment, the Cambo as it's called. So Jensen actually could make a few positions out of this pit stop, considering where he's kind of been this race, having that little incident at the start. So hopefully he can make up a few more positions, because anyone who knows Zach, he is a pretty nice guy and loves to race, so I wish him the best for him as Johnson continues round. So I don't think he's going to try cover off that Ferrari as of yet.
No, he's keep going out, but also just keep an eye on Walsh and Monks because I think they were two drivers I'm pretty sure that did pit on lap 1. So, you know, they're sort of, well, Walsh is behind Raschuti, but quite a margin at this stage. But we'll just see how that all unfolds and where they pop out when the top half do actually make their stop. So they may find themselves up in that top 6 or so once everyone pits. But Ellis has to be careful as well in second position because I think Raschuti is banging out some good times and possibility just, you know, if he gets in front of Johnson and then starts closing that gap on Ellis before Ellis pits.
Well,
very interesting.
To interrupt you there, I think from the YouTube chat, I've been told that Rashuti's pit was 10 seconds long.
10 seconds.
Which means that he has possibly accidentally taken tyres. Oh wow, as Jusman comes back across to take that line, doesn't really realise Monks is there on his outside and gives him a bit of hip and shoulder. But yeah, Raschuti possibly accidentally taking tyres as the pit stop with only fuel, which should be about 5 litres or a little bit more, should in theory only take, 5 seconds or a little bit around there.
Okay. I thought they were fixed time. Sorry, I'm not quite up on the rules there.
No,
and I just thought they might have been a fixed time and that's so. Yeah, well, it was definitely stationary for some time on that map. So well done to the viewers picking that up and well brought out there, Aiden, because that's definitely what he's done. He's probably put those tyres on.
Oh, Nathan, that is a lot of exit curb on that chicane. It just kind of bounces those front wheels up and you just can't turn the car like you'd want to. So Monk's kind of struggling here behind Jusman. Obviously Jusman did him a little bit dirty at turn 1. I think numbers may have been called there because Jusman just kind of came back across, and now we see Raschuti on the back of Pete Viney. Viney obviously not pitting yet. And this is going to hold Johnson up even more. Sorry, this is going to hold Raschuti up even more.
Sure is.
From before, so maybe Johnson has a chance here if he can just nail his pit stop and not make too many mistakes. I think he will have this pretty well sealed.
So here we go with Pete Viney. He's free to race here because it is for position, even though he still has to pit. But Stefano would definitely not be enjoying this particular moment as Monk's trying to go around the outside. That's a ballsy move if he can make this stick, because he's going to have the right line into this fast kink. And that's a great move.
Yeah, so Monk's getting through some of the traffic he's had to deal with. Just kind of maybe that early pit stop paying off for him. Able to leapfrog a few cars by just doing some clean laps, but well done to him for also getting past on this track as Ross goes a little bit deep into the chicane. Obviously I think Monks possibly was looking for a move into turn 1 or was alongside, because we did kind of just cut to it. We see Jusman getting that 10-second penalty for the hip and shoulder he did give to Monks, which is a bit harsh, but I see why they've done it. So yeah, Jusman possibly gonna have to learn from that one and do a little bit better next time.
Yeah, it's that's where you got to just have that level head too when that pops up to you and you're in that moment. And he was trying to re-attack on Monks, and you just got to calm it and try not to cause another incident or anything like that, because it just starts snowballing, and we've seen that on a few drivers too. Penalty after penalty as they probably get a bit hot under the collar.
Yeah, so Rashuti's past the Porsche Viney now, so he's been let loose, but has the damage been done already? Maybe also Raschuti took less fuel on the start, so he only fueled to 70%, whereas Johnson has clearly filled to about 90 or 85% as he's still driving right now. So maybe that's why he had the pace advantage on Johnson before and has been able to, you know, be really close to him the whole race. Is now Jusman under attack from Rosser. Rosser probably not going to be able to do much at this part of the track. As I say that, looks for a move into the chicane. Very brave. I'm not sure I would be doing the same. As now he falls back a little bit as a result of that, but he's still keeping Jusman very close company. These guys have been pretty close to each other for a majority of the race, and although Jusman has that 10-second penalty, he'll only lose the position to Rosser if things stay where they are, because Rochford is the car behind at about 14 seconds I last saw, and he's also under attack from Zach Jensen in that Lamborghini right behind.
Yeah. But we've also got Brickley, who's just in the pits at the moment in the Pro-Am class as well. So, as we said, Jusman and Rosser has been a battle for the lead in class all race, and we've been, we did mention how, we keep an eye on that throughout the race, and we've been able to cut back at to it. But here we go. We've got Brickley just exiting pit lane, so he could be a factor here in this top three for the Pro-Ams, because Jusman with that 10-second penalty, and I'm not too sure where they might be. So it looks like they've got through. So Brickley may be able to benefit from Jusman's 10-second penalty and find himself second on this podium.
Yeah, great point. Brickley obviously just not really racing anyone too hard tonight, but being a bit of a grey man and maybe just popping up at the last minute to take this P2 for Pro-Amers. The other Rosser, number 18, has got a drive-through and is now serving that in the pits, which is very unfortunate for him, as we see Zach Jensen on Scott Rochford possibly here. Jensen looking down the inside. I think that was more of an outbreak himself than a move. So luckily they both get away with that one unscathed, as the Lambo has pretty good brakes, but not that good. So Jensen just having to point the car away and make sure he keeps it going straight. And I'd expect the leaders now, that being Keys, Ellis, Johnson and Taufik, to come into the pits fairly soon, because we are getting closer and closer to the end of the race. As we look at Safiq now, not Taufik, Safiq, in this battle for what is P15 I believe, with Jensen and Rochford in front, or that is late on the brakes. Jensen has had to turn out of that one, so yeah, I think Safiq's going to give that one back, because I think he knew that was a little bit naughty on his end.
Bit cheeky, yep.
Oh, Jusman's got the DT, so he's just pitted with the DT now for track limits. So that is really unfortunate. That is going to completely destroy his run this race, unfortunately. So like I was saying at the start of the race, track limits, big thing here in the last sort of 10 minutes. Very easy to just, get one warning, that final warning, and then you're basically cooked.
Yeah, definitely. So this is where we want to find out where he's going to pop out. I'd say we'll see this Bentley in probably the next lap around to get this mandatory stop done and get a little bit of fuel in. But I think you might have brought up a good point at the start of this race, and maybe Raschuti did underfill that Ferrari a little bit just to have that that ability to attack early in the race, trying to get that position if he could. That's why I think he was fighting so hard for that position, and as you said, maybe needing a little bit longer fuel to top up those tanks to get to the end. So Johnson's stop might be fairly quick and jump out in front.
That or he took tyres, but I doubt, if you've done any prep or your name is not Jaden Rondilla, that you would take tyres, because it just doesn't seem to be worth it so far. There's Viney's now in the pits as well. He's going to serve that 15-second penalty while he's in the pits, obviously, which is going to drop him a few positions as well, as we jump back on board with this battle for P14 now. now that Justman has served their drive-through for track limits, and Scott Rochford is holding up the train right now. He's got Jensen and the Ferrari behind him, so Rochford going to try hold on to this, what is also going to be a P3 for the Pro-Am series so far for this race, which is pretty good for Rochford. He's just been kind of chilling back there, and now he's got his time to shine.
Yeah, I'm sure Scotty will be happy with that, and also doing a good job for Kovacs as well. I'm sure they'll be pleased to see where he's at this stage, and keeping Jensen behind is a very good job as well. So hopefully he can continue that on for the next 5 minutes and find himself P3 in class.
Definitely. Yeah, so looks like all these top drivers waiting for pretty much the very last lap to do their pit stops. Obviously, you kind of expect that from the Porsches of Johnson and Chalmers, because the Porsche is just very good on fuel anyway, so they don't really have the issue of running out of fuel if they decide to wait longer. But yeah, Keys and Ellis still going, as well as Taufik go up as well. So they've all pretty much fueled to the end, I would assume. Taken about 90 litres, and yeah, I'm just going to the end. So I wonder if there'll be any cars close when they come out, but maybe it'll be between Rashudi and possibly Taufik. Rashudi's lost a bit of time in the traffic, and also with that pit stop, but I guess only time will tell, as they now have about 3 laps left basically, I think, if my maths is correct, on this track. Although we don't really know where Lucas is, because he's just off on another planet.
Yeah, he's just started a new lap, so he's just there in the background, I think. So he's probably just cruising around with one arm out the window, waving to the crowd too. Just taking it nice and easy. 12-second margin on position 2, and here comes Taufik out of position 4. Gobi is doing the same thing. Love that Milwaukee Mustang.
Yeah, it's a good looking car. Both of them slowing down quite early for the pits. Obviously don't want to get a pit lane speeding penalty, and Kyle Johnson also in behind. Maybe Chalmers in as well at the end of this lap too, as Chalmers has Rashudi quite close behind, but we'll see if Chalmers decides to stay out for one more lap and possibly hold up Rashudi even more if he comes into the pits now. And I've just seen Chalmers has decided to stay out, so maybe playing the team game and trying to hold up Rashudi a little bit, for just in case Patrick or Taufik wants to try get as close as they can towards the end of the race.
Oh, he's having a little look, Jensen. He knows that the time's running out. He wants to get that final step on the podium in class if he can. And Scotty's saying, nah, I'm not having any of it. As he said, it's my time to shine. That's what Scotty's thinking. And he doesn't want to make it easy. And as Lucas Keys, the leader of the race, comes in.
Yeah, I mean, this is basically the last lap they have starting roundabout now. So Ellis also in, I'd assume Johnson in, and Chalmers, unless they're trying to do a Taufik from Monza and they forget that they have to pit a few seasons ago. But yeah, Rashudi will be the interesting one here, as he's now kind of stuck behind Chalmers for this lap at least, because Chalmers has to come in on this lap, I'm pretty sure, to complete his pit stop.
He will be, but where he's here, so we've got him on the main monitor, and we're looking at Luke. I think who's it? Actually, no, this is Johnson. Yeah, doing his. So this is going to be good. This is what we want to see, and see where Patrick comes out of the pit lane. But it looks like Chalmers is, as you said, going into the pit stop now.
Quick pit stop. That was only about 5 seconds from Patrick, so I think he'll be okay, considering Rashudi's longer pit stop. And yeah, so he's already out of the pits, turned the pit limiter off, and he's already gone. So that is obviously too big of a gap to get on the final lap, unless something quite out of the box happens. Obviously, Ellis and the others have kept their positions. Looking to see where Chalmers comes out. So he comes out behind, or near Monks actually. Chalmers is going to come out just behind Monks, who seems to have gained quite a bit off the pit stop.
Yeah, I think
or
Monks.
pit cycle.
Yeah, I think he did start, I'm pretty sure, 12th. So he's gained a couple of positions by pitting early, but maybe he might want to have had that race back a bit because he's a fair way behind position 9, I think. So maybe it didn't work out the way because he would have had to come through a lot of the slower traffic as well, fight through that in his run in that race. And that's what probably also cost Raschuti in the end, as Lucas Keys will not be too far. He's on the final corner to take out round 5 here for Thermaltake split red, and he's done it without really any incident. It's been a pretty uneventful race for him.
Yeah, Lucas taking out the winners. Breno drifts the OnlyFans Audi across the final corner and across the line as well, and Patrick Johnson will be soon around the final corner. So the gap between Johnson and Raschuti at the end, 2 seconds. So it's not too far off, but I think Raschuti might be kicking himself a little bit there because it definitely seemed like he might have had the pace to be able to get past Johnson, and maybe if he'd succeeded with the move he tried, or the moves he did try earlier, things would have worked out differently. But Taufik and Goeb crossing the line into P5 and 6, Walsh P7, 8, Kyle Johnson as Monks and Rosser now come across the line. So Monks getting into P9.
Yes, well done.
Monks, did we say Monks was P10 like on that lap?
Yeah, so he's picked up a position, even if that was through the pit cycles or not. But
yeah,
Brickley in the second of the Nissans coming home in 11th. Well done. And position 3 for Rochford. He's very happy man. Well done for Kovacs Racing.
Yeah, so Rosser taking out that Pro-Am win, followed by Brickley and Rochford, Gobby and Walsh and Johnson also finishing in the top 3 in silver. But yeah, as we see the cars doing some donuts at turn 1 in celebration. And
great race from all these drivers as well. Lucas Keys, you can't take away that victory from him, and also Breno Ellis. But for me, driver of the day would have to be the Bentley of Johnson, because I thought that he did a really good job just holding off that pressure from Raschuti, and he did everything right to keep hold of that 3rd position.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you there. Bentley of Johnson did do a very good job in holding everyone off. As I have a black screen, I'm not sure if you have the same.
Yeah, I think we've just lost our Ben, but I think it's still going, so we'll see very shortly our results. Here it is. As Lucas Keys takes out the victory with Breno and Johnson, Raschuti, Taufik, Go, Walsh, Johnson, Monks from 12th to 9th, and Rosser rounds out the 10.
Yeah. As we check silver, obviously Gobby taking out the silver win, Walsh in P2, followed by Kyle Johnson in P3. Heading over to Pro-Am, we've got M. Rosser in the McLaren, followed by Brickley and Scott Rochford taking out that final step. And the other Rosser in the Ferrari, obviously solo kind of race for him, but still taking out the win, I guess. He didn't do too badly tonight, so well done to him. And that concludes our racing for tonight in split red at the Hungaroring. So make sure you stick around for next week. I believe we're at Monza for the final round of the championship here. I bet there's going to be some pretty interesting championship battles going on there, so make sure to tune in, everyone, and thanks to everyone in chat as well for watching along and giving us some hints and keeping us engaged with some of the things we might have missed on the stream.